Hello guys, Free here. Welcome to the presentation today. We're going to talk about data. If you're like me working on any data project, the first and foremost thing we need is access to clean and quality data sets. Without data, there is no data science. Without data, there is no big data. Without data, there is no machine learning, AI, or you name it. But that process of going out to get adequate data sets for the different projects could be very, very challenging. And I faced this recently working on a project where I needed sample data to go through. So that precipitated this video, which we're going to go through, seeing where the industry is and where the industry might be going in terms of finding data sets to use for your project, whether you're working with healthcare, manufacturing, retail, fintech, it doesn't matter. We all need data for our different projects. So that said, let's go to the obvious area where folks would turn to look for data sets, and Google comes to mind. Google, their mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So it's a natural place that we all go to Google. And interestingly, Google has this platform called Data Set Research or Data Set Search for research. And I tried it, and to be honest, my opinion about it is it's still a little bit old school. It's a good step, but it's not really where we're going. So, for example, I needed manufacturing data. You see, you can search for data sets here, but all you get is what Google does best, right? It gives you links to other websites. So, for example, it's showing me Kaggle or Kaggle, depending on how you pronounce this, and I still have to go there and struggle to get the data downloaded, and it's not really very effective. And Kaggle itself is a very popular website where folks can go to kaggle.com/dataset to find data sets. So let's try my manufacturing data, right? Even if I find a data set in here, I still have to somehow browse this data set, download the data set, bring it into my database for me to use. And it's a very time consuming and very challenging process, right? Just downloading this data set to bring it to my environment. It's, let's say if I'm working with Snowflake or with some other database, it's not very smooth or frictionless. Now, where do I see the industry going? I think the pattern that we're going to see is really what Snowflake is doing and doing really well, which is running across all the different cloud providers. If you don't know what Snowflake is, it's a cloud data warehouse. It runs across all the different cloud providers and it gives you access to live data sets. So these are not links to pages that you have to scrape and download. This is live data, which is really powerful. Now, if you come into Snowflake in the UI, go to their marketplace and you search for data. Let's say I was looking for, let's take COVID for example, which was a really challenging one when COVID hit. You can search for COVID. Now you get, say, a data set in here, and depending on your privilege, let's switch the privilege here. You can grab this data set like this, that easy and done. And if I go into my Snowflake environment, I have a data set here ready for me to query, right? And I think this is where the industry really, really is going, giving you live access to data. The approach of searching and getting links to pages, I don't think that that's really where the future is going. The approach of Kaggle, which is a pretty good step. I think a lot of people are familiar with Kaggle for data science and machine learning and AI. It's a good step, but again, just the process of having to move data around just makes it very cumbersome and there's too much friction, right? I think Snowflake has really solved this, and this whole idea of getting live access to data that you can query, like you saw, I accessed COVID data and I could query that in seconds. All of this available for me to query from Johns Hopkins to all the different environments is pretty powerful. And it's not just COVID, right? You can come in here and look for other data sets. Let's say transportation, find the different data sets. Some of it might be free, some of this might be paid, but again, it's live data. And this is really where the industry is going to remove that friction for getting access to data. Hopefully this was helpful. Just a quick presentation here. This was Fro, Tech with Fro, signing out.